Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for the week of June 19th. We are just going to jump right in here, Taurus. And sorry, these are all kind of in the wrong order, but, well, not the wrong order. They're just in the wrong spot. You have this chaos card and this patience card. I would be patient at this time. We are in a time of chaos, as I always say, until like 2027, somewhere around there, really till 2033. But, I think things kind of smooth out in 2027. And, for those people that can handle it, that aren't going to worry about it, then, I feel like there's an opportunity to be more successful than ever. It's like, I think that people think chaos is a bad thing, but, really just things being moved around, things getting mixed up, and, all that other stuff in the world. So people who can, take charge and who can, kind of experiment their way through life, those are the people who are going to be very successful. So in your first row, you have the Five of Cups, the Six of Pentacles, and the Star. And it looks to me like you could be working towards the Star. The Star could be some sort of big goal, wish, or dream, or something that would just improve your life in some way. And definitely going this way, you have the Chariot and you have the Four of Pentacles. So the Four of Pentacles is something that can last for a long time. It's something that has a very solid foundation. And I feel like that's what you're searching for, actually, which is kind of what I'm getting here on this Five of Cups. You can see that there's a castle over here. And castles in the tarot represent like safety, security, comfort, protection, achievements, things like that. So he just has to be grateful for what he has. He has to turn around and see these two cups, because then he gets this bridge and the castle. And he might be standing where he is, and not only is he grieving the loss of his taste for wine, the whole point of the Five of Cups is that he has lost his taste for wine, something that he once enjoyed. But he also thinks that he can't get over here. He thinks that he can't get to that castle. But if he's grateful for these two cups behind him, he sees the bridge that gets him to the castle. And, that's kind of the story of the Five of Cups. The solution to the Five of Cups is gratitude. I always get accused of being too positive with the tarot, but really, number one, tarot isn't meant to be positive or negative. Number two, every single negative card has a solution. It's not like, I think people think like life is just like, oh, I get this punishment and that's it. But really, just like in the tarot, it's like there might be something that seems like a punishment. You might have lost something here or whatever, and you have to be grateful. But there's always, the solution always leads to something better. So I would be focusing on the solution with the Five of Cups for sure. You have the Six of Pentacles. I feel like you just have to get started. Everybody, it's crazy. I'm almost positive. I've done about half the reading so far, and I'm almost positive that everyone so far has had the Six of Pentacles. I've had to actually do this set of readings twice. Yesterday I recorded a bunch of readings, and the audio didn't record. So, and I now I'm paranoid, so I keep double checking and making sure that the audio is recording, which it is. But what I would say is, even yesterday, a bunch of people had the Six of Pentacles. I think that Six of Pentacles is a really good energy of like what we could be doing to move forward, even if it seems slow. I always say that I've completely changed my life with 1% improvements, and that's like the Six of Pentacles. It's like those 1% daily improvements that you make in any or all areas of your life, and if you keep doing that, they add up over time and quickly. Again, I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just saying this because like I changed my life very, very quickly, and it's so easy, and it doesn't cost any money, and it doesn't require a lot of effort either to make 1% improvements or just tiny little steps. But like just this channel alone, that's how I exploded this channel. I was stuck for a very long time, and then I started focusing on just improving one thing every single video, and I still do it. I still just look at all the changes that I always make. I'm always making changes, always looking for those little improvements. And a lot of things don't work, but the things that do, I double down on those things that work. And that's the Six of Pentacles. It's like, look for what works and throw out the rest. You have the Star. Definitely some achievements coming in for you. Go Star, Chariot, which is, in this first diagonal, which is really nice. We'll show you here, up to the Four of Pentacles. The Star is some sort of wish, goal, dream. It's something that you see as being very fulfilling. So it does look to me like there's something that would lead to a lot of fulfillment or security or financial security coming in for you. With the Five of Cups, you have the Magician. Yeah, the Magician is a card of manifestation. So is the Chariot going this way here. He has stars in his canopies, moons on his shoulders, and it kind of represents as above, so below. Normally, the magician would be pointing in this direction, so he is pointing towards the Three of Swords, but I do feel like there has been some sort of loss, or, you know, for some of you, again, I feel like gratitude is the answer. Three of Swords would say forgiveness is the answer. You know, again, we're going to clarify that, and we'll see what comes up. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Two of Swords. Yeah, I mean, Two of Swords is kind of like the Six of Swords, right? There are choppy waters between where she is normally sitting, and there's an island behind her as well. So it kind of represents a rite of passage, or needing to go on some sort of, you know, long journey, rite of passage type of deal. And I feel that for a lot of you. You could be going through like a long journey, or there could be some sort of rite of passage that you're needing to complete with this Two of Swords. With the Star, you have the Three of Swords. You definitely could be healing from a heartbreak or a separation. The Star comes up after the Tower. You do have the Tower here, but the Tower is showing up in the area of the good stuff for you, Taurus. So, you know, really, I would say this to me would say that there's actually something good coming in for you. And again, it's coming up in the good stuff, so I wouldn't worry too much about the Tower, but you do have the Star. So some of you could be like healing from a breakup or a separation or something like that with the Three of Swords. Next, in the area of what you need to hear right now, you have this Elephant, and it says learn from the past. You have this Lion Spirit, it says be generous of spirit. And I do feel like you need to learn from the past. I wouldn't like live in the past. I also get something about confidence here, because you go Strength, Fool, King of Wands. Like, are you kidding? That's this right here going this direction is confidence if I haven't ever seen it. The Strength card is a card of like working on yourself and, you know, kind of conquering your inner demons. She's getting that lion to submit to her. It has its tail between its legs, and so it kind of says that she is getting, you know, she is conquering the beast, the lion. And then the Fool is about confidence, taking a leap of faith. King of Wands, all about confidence. So I feel like there's something that you are wanting to take a leap of faith on. It's probably something that will set you apart. You have the Chariot. Everybody's been getting the Chariot lately, and I've been saying to everyone, I mean, we have Pluto's retrograding now back into Capricorn, but what I would say is that, you know, it was in Aquarius. Next year it'll be in Aquarius, and I think that Pluto in Aquarius is all about kind of taking some sort of risk, or but the risk that we're taking is to put ourselves out there to be unique. You know, Pluto in Aquarius is all about the collective, but that does not mean that we should be like everybody else. It just means that whatever we are doing should benefit the collective. And, you know, I've said before that I think that getting lost in the crowd is definitely, you know, maybe one of the challenges with Pluto in Aquarius. So, you know, we should definitely be setting ourselves apart, but also making sure that whatever we're doing in like work or business or otherwise is benefiting people in our lives in some way. You have the Moon card here. Again, not being sure what to do. It's like the feeling of knowing that you want to do something, but not being exactly sure how to get there. That's kind of like the feeling I get. And look at this, you know, you go Fool to the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles says teamwork makes the dream work. But it's like, you know, I feel there's a path on the moon, and that path goes to some mountains, and mountains represent achievements in the tarot. So it's like there's something you want to accomplish, but you're not exactly sure how how you are going to be able to accomplish it. Let's see what's going on here. With the Strength card, you have the Strength card. So basically the universe saying I meant what I said with that Strength card. With the Chariot, you have the Knight of Cups. Definitely could be a Knight in Shining Armor here. Could be a water sign. I'm pretty sure that for the past few weeks you've been getting a water sign showing up in your readings. So if you want love, definitely could be a Knight in Shining Armor. I have a feeling that you'll probably meet this person in public. I mean, Chariot literally says, get out of the house, go socialize, go do something like that. The Fool is about taking a leap of faith, getting out of the house, socializing. And the Fool has like a little dog behind him, and the dog represents companionship. So, you know, definitely could be like a true companion coming in for you if you want love. With the Moon, you have the Fool. Yes, it's time to take a risk. I mean, it's like nobody knows what they're doing, and I say this all the time right now that, you know, if you ask any successful people who are super successful, if they knew what they were doing when they got started, they would say, hell no. They had no freaking clue what they were doing. They just figured it out. And I feel like not enough people think that way because, I always blame school. I think school teaches us that we have to know the answers before we, before we get into something or start something. But really, it's the other way around. It's like most successful people, they learn the answers as they go. They don't know the answers up front. And I get that feeling here for you. I also feel that kind of like tapping into a resource of other people will be very beneficial for you. So like learning from other people, getting ideas from other people, or just working together with other people, especially if you're working on like a business or career or something, that could be very beneficial for you as well. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have this card that says, it will all make sense to you soon. You have this card that says, you're currently under construction. Please be patient. So again, I feel like you have been patient, actually. I feel like you've been waiting for some changes for a very long period of time. Again, we have that Saturn in Pisces, and it's retrograding depending on when you're watching this. And what I would say is that I feel like there's been this feeling of delays, feeling like dreams are being put on hold, and feeling like it's taking longer to get to where you want to go. So but I feel like everything is kind of being built up. I do feel like I do feel that in a lot of ways that the Four of Pentacles is saying you are making as much progress as you possibly can on your foundation. Sometimes, like, I'm not a big fan of Four of Pentacles, but sometimes I think that it can be kind of like the skeleton. It's like it's not even a foundation, right? It's just the skeleton of a foundation. It's like, kind of like you're laying everything out. You're trying to, you're trying to almost plan out the basics, maybe the four corners of a foundation. Let's put it that way, right? And the whole foundation hasn't been poured yet. So it's like whatever new beginning you're having, I kind of feel like it's like you're almost trying to orient yourself in space. It's like you're trying to get your position correct. I don't know, kind of a crazy message to get on the Four of Pentacles, but that's what's popping into my head. It's like you're trying to get yourself in a position of security before you lay the solid foundation, or you're trying to find a good place to lay a solid foundation as well. That could be what's going on here. I do feel like a little bit of a risk here, or a risk that needs to be taken. The Fool isn't necessarily a risk, but I almost feel, just like if I put myself in this Fool's shoes, I almost feel like you're playing it too safe. There's two ways to read the Fool, kind of. One is that he's about to take a leap of faith off the cliff there, and he is just trusting that a step will appear. He's just trusting that the universe will kind of put a step in front of him when he takes the leap of faith. The other way to read the Fool is that he's actually going this way. He's going like around. He's going like this way, down and around. And so there's a theory that there's a path that's kind of going down the side of the cliff instead of him jumping off the cliff. So, but, anyway, what I was getting here is that I feel like some of you are trying to play it too safe when you should be taking the leap of faith, off of the cliff. I kind of get this feeling in the future, especially for those of you in work or business that are thinking about presenting something or putting something out in work or business. I just get the feeling of you being like, wow, that was like, I made that way too complicated. That's what I'm getting in my head. So, if you're thinking about doing anything in work or business, I feel like you are underestimating like your talents, gifts, skills, and abilities. And I do feel the Fool is saying like, don't do that, You have the Three of Swords here. I feel like you're going through a recovery process. I would definitely watch your health. A lot of people have had health cards. I'm not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice. But what I would say is I would make sure to take care of your health at this time. Do whatever you can to stay healthy and like all that other good stuff as well. Get extra rest if you need it. I'm definitely getting that as well. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Six of Pentacles again. I'm telling you, this is like, I know it's obvious and I say it all the time, but it really is, I feel like the easiest answer right now is to take a step, see what happens, and then improve upon it or double down on it depending on what happens. So if you don't know what to do in some area of your life, like what is the tiniest little step that you can take that will lead to, a big impact or to something more important in your life. That's kind of like what I'm getting here. With the Fool, you have the Wheel of Fortune, definitely life-changing events happening at this time with the Wheel of Fortune and the Tower. The Tower, again, is coming up in the area of the good stuff. So I kind of feel like this will be positive no matter what, but definitely some sort of change that you're hoping to make. I kind of feel with the Wheel of Fortune, here's the thing, my thing with the Wheel of Fortune. I love the Wheel of Fortune. It's a very good card, but I feel like sometimes people make it seem like it's better than it actually is because it is your destiny how you see it. The Wheel of Fortune is meant to be your personal vision for your life, like the direction that you think personally. And we're not talking about like what the universe thinks or anything like that. We're talking about what you think, where you think your life is supposed to go. But the problem with the Wheel of Fortune is that we have to control it. The wheel is always spinning, but sometimes Sometimes it's spinning forwards, sometimes it's spinning backwards, and we control it with our vibration. Paying attention to cycles is also important. We basically want to be at the center of the wheel. There are 3 wheels on the Wheel of Fortune, and we want to be on that tiny little inner wheel because that's where things are changing around us, but we're paying attention to cycles. With the 3 of Swords, you have the Star. Yeah, definitely healing going on. You have the Star twice, and how crazy is this? You have the 3 of Swords with a Star, very specifically twice. So I feel some of you could be healing from a heartbreak, or you already have healed from some sort of heartbreaking situation. And I do feel that this is connected to your dreams. You know, the Star can represent some sort of goal, wish, or dream that you want to take advantage of or create in your life. So I feel like it's definitely a time to get going towards a goal, wish, or dream here, Taurus. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Here and Now card. You also have this Breathe card. Definitely time to take a deep breath. And I don't know if you can notice, I can't breathe today. There's some sort of pollen in the air that is making it impossible for me to breathe at the moment. But you know, what I would say to you is I would take some deep breaths. I would definitely be present at this time. I feel like that's a good idea. Also, I would get extra rest. I mean, I said it to someone else today as well. It's like, you know, I've been on this new schedule. I'm waking up at 5 a.m. and today I woke up at 7. Oh my gosh, right? 2 hours late. But you know what? I just needed the sleep. So I wouldn't like judge things like that. You know, sometimes I think people think like, oh, if I don't stick to my schedule for one day, then I'm a failure. But it's like, well, it's just one day. If your body needs a rest, get the rest. If your body needs a break, you know, get the break. So I feel like as long as a majority of the time you're kind of sticking to your schedule or whatever it is that you do, then, you know, I think that's good enough. You have the 3 of Pentacles, the Tower, and the King of Wands. The 3 of Pentacles says teamwork makes the dream work. So, you know, whatever you're trying to do, I would put in the work. And I would also get help from other people. The other thing I always say about the 3 of Pentacles is that it's a card of the icing on the cake. You have these 3 pentacles up here. There's a fire triangle. This right here is a water triangle right there. That water triangle, it kind of represents going above and beyond on a project, or, you know, adding the icing on the cake, adding just like that secret sauce or something special to whatever it is that you're working on. So again, if you are presenting something, working on a work-based project, business project, or anything, you know, putting that extra, you know, going the extra mile is worth it, is what I'm trying to say with that 3 of Pentacles. You have the Tower. It is showing up in the good stuff. So some of you definitely could be healing from a Tower. Again, the Tower always gets reduced down to a foundation. And this whole entire reading seems to me like it's a foundational reading. To me, it says that you're, like, again, it's like you're laying out these 4 corners is how I see it in your life. And then I feel like you're going to build from there. So, I kind of feel like you're at this point of being at a solid foundation. You have the King of Wands. King of Wands is bold, assertive. You always get the King of Wands or the Queen of Wands. And I'm always saying to you specifically, Taurus, I feel like you need to be bold, assertive, and really kind of like go for what you want in like work, business, or whatever else it is that you're doing. Let's see. With the 3 of Pentacles, you have the Page of Pentacles. I feel like there's good news coming in for you, kind of coming out of nowhere. Normally, when I have a reading where I feel like news is coming in, like, to me, 1 card isn't enough, right? So sometimes I feel like there need to be like 2 or 3 cards that say, oh, news is coming in. Like this card, the 8 of Wands, would be good or something like that. But for whatever reason, I definitely feel there could be news or communication. I also, like, I don't think this is a love reading, but I feel like you're more focused on creating security in your life in general. But I do feel if you want love, this could be a new person. It could be another earth sign, could be any sign, general reading. And you do have the Knight of Cups, which is like a knight in shining armor. With the Tower, you have the 10 of Swords. Again, normally this would be horrible, but it is showing up in the good stuff. So, you know, clearly some sort of difficult ending could have been a good thing for you. You could also be seeing how something that happened already was a blessing in disguise. So something, you know, if there was some sort of destruction in the past, this would say that now you are seeing it as a blessing. With the King of Wands, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, love it. Definitely a big opportunity. And I'm sorry, dropping cards today, but definitely a big opportunity for you. And I also feel that there's something that has a lot of potential. It's like something that you want to do with your life. You know, this could be to, you know, start a business, to stand out in some way. You have the Star twice. You know, I keep telling people, Pluto and Aquarius, if there was ever a time where it would be a great time to stand out, it would be Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto and Aquarius is like the Star card. Well, Aquarius is. And, you know, I keep telling people getting as much attention on things as you can is a good idea. We're going to pull 5 main themes now. You have a spiritual guidance card. It says protection from harm. So I feel like you are obviously protected from harm at this time. I feel like there's also a lot of guidance coming in for you as well. It's kind of weird. I feel like some of you could have like weird things all of a sudden happening, like lights flickering or, something like that, or maybe dreams, or maybe you're having dreams of like people whispering to you or talking to you or something. I don't know, it popped into my head. And I feel like these are like real, these are like real and like angelic encounters or something like that. You have this September card and this Vine card. It says, seek out information that will help you. I was basically saying this on the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune represents education. Those 4 signs, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo, normally show up in the 4 corners. And 4 corners, again, some of you might be traveling to the 4 corners of the U.S. or something as well, because I keep wanting to say 4 corners or something like that. But anyway, the Wheel of Fortune, those 4 signs, they all are holding a book, and it represents like learning knowledge. So, anywhere that you want to change your life, if you want to change your life or change your destiny, learn as much as you can about whatever you're doing. You have this heart card. It says, love, deep, caring, affection. I do feel like some of you feel like it's like feeling more affection is what's popping into my head. So some of you could be looking for a deeper connection. And I do feel like there's a connection coming in for you. It could be long distance. You have the Chariot with that Knight of Cups, or it could be involving travel. I do kind of have a weird story popping into my head of like you meeting a person who's like moving or something like that. Like maybe you meet them and then a few months later they are moving, but I don't know. This could be one of those things where it's like, who cares? Maybe they're like, hey, move with me or something like that. I don't know. It's kind of popping into my head. I also get like long distance. You have this grasshopper. It says, situation in the balance that requires careful handling. I don't really feel like there's anything that requires careful handling. I feel like you've allowed the destruction of something, 10 of Swords, Tower, but, this could be like moving or something like that, and I feel like it's a good thing. And finally, you have the Sun card. It says happiness and well-being on it, so clearly there's going to be a lot of happiness and well-being. But this looks pretty interesting here, Taurus. I feel like you're making moves, and again, I get this 4 corners thing as well. I feel like you're kind of like setting up this new foundation. Maybe you're trying to decide like where you want to be in space as well. I really get something about orientation. It's like, but as in my head, it's like I feel like you're upside down and you're trying to, you're trying to stand straight up. I hope that makes sense. I don't know. That's how it's popping into my head. And maybe you want to feel more kind of straight up, like you're going in the right direction, or like you have a certain sense of guidance. But I almost feel like that's what's happening this week. It's like saying maybe you're getting these points of orientation, this like foundation. I don't know. Pretty deep is what I would say, but it looks really good. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.